Seemingly never-ending, ongoing rancor between Frank Warren and Ben Shalom, the latest incarnation, which has moved on from Fabio Wardley's gloves and Fraser Clark and whatever else, to the situation surrounding the Liam-Cameron Ben Whittaker rematch, and what's going on there. So let's have a listen to Frank Warren first, who spoke to IFL TV, and after that we'll listen to Ben Shalom, who spoke to us on talkSPORT.
As of today, right now, no fight's been made. Queensberry can't be sued for promoter-to-promoter negotiations. I never heard anything like that. A fighter can't be sued for wanting to fight. And if Boxer want to go legal, then get on with it. You know, that's up to them. You know, you can't be sued for talking about a fight.
All we've asked for is inaccuracies to be cleared up. We don't want anything else. I think, God bless Liam, he's been told to say things, and certain things are inaccurate, and we have to protect our business when they're made.
Do you think they'll have a fight each before they meet now, because it's built?
No, I think it will be the next fight, as long as everyone's sensible, I do.
I was watching this situation develop over the weekend and listening to the various protagonists, or antagonists in this instance, about who, what, when and why. And I listened to a couple of things. I listened to Ben Shalom having a debate with Eddie Hearn about relationships, and Eddie Hearn giving him a lecture about fixing his relationship with Frank Warren. And I went, hell, this is a bloke who didn't speak to him for 15 years. He's giving lectures about how people should get relationships together. Frank and Eddie didn't speak for 15 years, now they're relationship counsellors. But this situation with Liam-Cameron and Ben Whittaker, listening to Ben Shalom, and I think Ben needs to get a bit of balls about him and push back a little bit further. I think sometimes he's flaky, but listen to it. You've got Liam-Cameron, who's getting a rematch against Ben Whittaker. And the reasons why people are interested in Liam-Cameron now is because of Ben Whittaker and what Ben Whittaker didn't deliver in that fight and what people's expectations of him are. So he's now created an opportunity, fair play to him, to get some money and to get some proper dough out of this, because prior to that, there wasn't a great deal of interest in Liam-Cameron. You've now got Ben Whittaker, who's a Sky fighter being promoted by Ben Shalom, that's engineered an offer that he rejected, from what I understand, that then came back and said, this is what I want. So Shalom offers him that, and then Frank Warren comes in behind that and offers him more. And somehow Ben Shalom is being painted into a corner where he's got to match another promoter that can't deliver the fight because Ben Whittaker's not his. And also, it reminds me a little bit of Josh Buatsi versus Anthony Yard, and we'll touch on that in a second. Do you not think that Ben Shalom's getting done up a little bit here by the fact that A, he isn't strong enough, doesn't put people in their place, which I think he should do, and B, that people are playing a bit hard and fast with him, because if Ben can deliver Ben Whittaker and he wants him on Sky, and Liam-Cameron has asked for a price, and Shalom gives him the price, and then Cameron takes it across to another promoter and says, can you give me more than that? Shouldn't Shalom have been saying, I'll give you this dough. The only reason you're getting this dough is because you're fighting Ben Whittaker. If you don't take this dough, which is what you asked for, you don't get Ben Whittaker, and he goes and fights somebody else, and that's the end of you.
As simple as that. That basically, when Ben Shalom matched the offer that they were asking for, he should have had it in writing. There it is. That's the one. Sign the papers. We have the fight because we want it on our platform. We're giving you the opportunity to go back in there because you don't have to go back into the immediate rematch. Of course, we're talking about damage limitations here with Ben Whittaker.
Spence, hold on a second. That's wonderful you've had an epiphany, but that's not quite what you and Adam Cattrall said on Fight Night. And I'm not defending... Let me finish the point. I'm not defending Ben Shalom.
You never let me finish what I was saying.
I haven't finished the accusation, right? Because I heard you and Adam talk about it, and I'm not defending Ben because people think I think I've got an allegiance to Ben. I've given him some advice in the past. Everyone knows where my relationship starts and begins and ends with him, right? But the point is this, is that if he's done a deal with Cameron, and Cameron then changed it, right? But you lot are now blaming, you're basically saying, you and Adam are basically saying that Frank has got the moral high ground, the fighters should get what they want, and the public demands what it wants. But by the way, this is the same public that couldn't get Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn to make a fight for years and years and years. All of a sudden, the only reason we're getting fights made is because the other fellas come along, Turkey al-Sheikh. So you guys were blaming it solely on Shalom. Isn't this Frank Warren being a little bit clever?
We're talking about
for the fact he's got a bit more dough than Ben Shalom, and the fighter being a little bit clever.
Listen, wasn't blaming anyone at all. What I'm saying is Ben Shalom said, they said this is the money that we want. Ben Shalom then matched the offer that they said, he should have got it in writing. That was flaky from him that he didn't get it in writing, because what Liam-Cameron's done now is gone to Frank Warren. Frank Warren, in his own right, can say, well, we'll give you more money because we want it on our platform. So now you've caused this problem where Ben should have got it signed, sealed and delivered there, because, of course, Warren's going to want to trump him on that because they want to fight on their platform.
Yeah.
I totally understand Ben saying, no, we're Sky. It's Ben Whittaker's giving him the opportunity to go back there because he wouldn't be getting that money. Totally understand that. So I think the problem lies with Ben Shalom not getting it signed, sealed and delivered
How
there.
is this for a fighter, Josh? You know, during the summer, I know that you were very keen on the Anthony Yard fights. And the Willie Hutchinson fight was made to meet certain expectations, to meet certain contractual obligations. I was part of the discussions that were happening between George and Ben. You may or may not know that, but you do now. And the argument was that Ben was trying to get Yard for you. And there was a dispute between Yard and Frank Warren. And Frank Warren was telling Ben Shalom to have hands off, which, by the way, is ironic, given that Frank Warren is now trying to make a fight with Ben Whittaker and Liam-Cameron because it suits him. But how frustrating for you as a fighter, sitting on the sideline watching all this going on? Do you leave it totally in the hands of your promoter and go, right, well, I'm signed with you, I understand what you're trying to achieve? Or do you go, right, I'm getting pissed off with this now, I want what I want?
I think there's a bit of both. Yeah, your promoter has to do his job and get you the fight, but I think as fighters, sometimes we have to take things into our hands. And a bit like the Yard situation, you're right. After I boxed Aziz,
Ben Aziz, yeah.
I was meant to box Yard. Then all these legal things came out. So I rang him and I said, look, while you handle that, I'm going to fight Hutchinson, because at the end of the day, it's my career and I need to get on with what I'm doing. So in the interim, I boxed Hutchinson.
Yeah.
So with
Keep your powder dry on Yard. We'll talk about him later on in the show.
So with all of this going on, I think, yes, the boxing needs to take things into their hands. What Cameron has done, I don't think it's necessarily wrong to say, look, this is the offer I've been given. Can you match it? Can you not? I don't think that's a bad thing.
It doesn't go on forever, though, does it? It doesn't turn into a Dutch auction. If someone makes you an offer and then they say, well, no, I don't want that, I want this, and you go, right, well, I'll do that then, they don't get to take it off somewhere else and keep on because you go on forever.
Liam-Cameron is essentially taking a gamble because he's going, let's say Ben Shalom's offered him X, Y, Z, the money he wanted. He's then gone to Frank Warren and said, look, Frank, can we do better than this? Because no contracts are signed. So you understand it from both sides.
I get it. It's interesting about legal stuff because the irony of, I think Frank Warren was giving a lecture to Ben Shalom about legal stuff. And if you're going to do something legal, just get on with it and don't do it. In the same Frank Warren that said he was going to sue everybody over the gloves with Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley. Don't see any writs there. Anyway, these lessons must be really valuable for people. Ben Whittaker, he will be in your rearview mirror. I mean, you're looking at your career and you're looking about what you want to achieve, and you're not going to be sitting there, studying what Ben Whittaker does. But when you look at him and you look at that fight with Liam-Cameron, do you think in that fight that Ben Whittaker swallowed it?
Simon, I think only he knows.
But you're a fighter. You've got an inkling.
Only he knows. Okay, so my thoughts on that is, look, if it's tough, you have to thug it out. That's all I can say. You have to back down and just fight. Close your eyes, swing it out, whatever you have to do. But deep down, only he knows. I'm not sure what happened, I'll be honest with you. I'm a spectator that's watching it, but only he will actually know.
Listen, the big problem that we've got is that Ben Whittaker, when he fell out of the ring, said that he damaged his ankle, he done all that. And we got Ben Shalom saying, no, it was his neck and it was his back. And the stories are still not matching up now. That's the big problem you've got. So people are obviously going to make judgment on people saying, listen, I think he swallowed it, he didn't want to go back into the fight weren't going his way, it was turning Liam-Cameron's way. You understand it. That's why you have to right the wrongs of that situation and go, right, let's get back into it.
If you were in Ben Whittaker's shoes and this situation had manifested itself and people are making these observations, would your mindset be, irrespective of whether I like it or not, I've got to get back in the ring and deal with this fella
instantly,
now?
Simon.
Yeah.
Instantly, you have to do that and write it. But then, do you know what? In the same breath, as much as you have to do it, in the same breath, you have to sit down and ask yourself, what's the best move for you? That's the first thing I always tell people to do. Think about yourself, what's best for you. If it is the rematch because of the stick you're getting from the public, go into that. If you've got a better offer somewhere else, go into that. But to clear things out, I think is a rematch.
Have you sparred him?
Ben?
Yeah.
Many rounds.
So tell me.
Extremely talented.
What do you think of him?
Extremely talented. One of the most talented light heavies out there, but we've seen that professional boxing isn't 3 rounds. It's 12 rounds and there's different parts of that 12 rounds. The gloves are smaller, it's more physical. But
Any piss taking going on during sparring?
Say that again?
Any theatricals or any clowning during sparring?
No, back in those days, Ben wasn't like that. But technically he's always been gifted.
Does he carry power? Because the big argument with him, and we've discussed it, and we don't think it's necessary, and Bivol talked about it a moment ago about power, the argument is that he doesn't have the power in this division.
Simon, I think anyone over, I would say 12 stone, not that accurate, but anyone over 12 stone has got power. In them gloves, everything hurts, I think. I think anyone can punch in them gloves. So has he got power? He probably has, yeah.
Listen, small gloves, 10-ounce gloves, hands wrapped, tape. Yeah, I think it's all about punch precision, timing, accuracy. But you do get to a level where you go, you know, at your sort of level where you're world class, people take them shots and you come back and you learn how to ride them and learn how to deal with them. So power is, you have to be able to hit with respect. And I think that was the question that me and Simon were asking and saying the jury's still out on, because we haven't seen him have that effect. Liam Cameron's a classic example. He was walking through those shots.
Look, I think, again, you can't win an Olympic medal if you're not that good. I stand by that. So,
agree.
And we can't all sit here and deny that Ben's not good.
Oh, no. We think he's remarkably talented.
Yeah, exactly.
We think he's got some... The questions have now got to be asked and answered, because before that, the questions were who likes him and who dislikes him. I always liked him because I think charisma's part of it.
Yeah.
The question now is what happened in this fight, and can you do something about it? Because the backdrop to you to having photo shoots in Milan and being everyone's poster boy is that you've got to go and deliver it in the ring.
Yeah.
And there's a question over you now, whereas before, the only question was, do you finish people? Now the question is, have you got the stomach for it?
I think the question was not if he was going to win a world title, but when he was going to win a world title. Listen, I'm still sort of standing by that. I think this kid, and I agree with Josh, this kid is multi-talented. Yes, there's this little bump in the road now that he has to overcome. Does he go into the immediate rematch? Does he sort that out? I think he needs to do that to move on, kick on, because we're talking about, we're not just talking about prospects here, we're talking about elite fighters, and we're talking about, you know, people that we're talking about.
And we're sitting next to one as well, who's in the same division.
Absolutely.
So let's not wax too lyrical about Ben in Josh's company.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.